Today, we're diving into a really shocking report about an education crisis that's happening right now. And the wildest part, all the data, every stunning detail, it comes directly from the government itself. Our story really kicks off with this one number, 157. It seems so specific, kind of random, but what it represents is a failure that's almost hard to believe. Now, this isn't some abstract statistic on a spreadsheet. We're talking about 157 real, actual government primary schools. Buildings that were built and funded for one single purpose, to teach children. And this is the part that's just tough to wrap your head around. These 157 schools, as we speak, have absolutely no teachers. None. We're talking empty classrooms, silent playgrounds, just buildings. So where in the world did this number come from? Well, this isn't from some activist group or a media investigation. These figures are pulled straight from the official 2025 Meghalaya State Education Commission report, or MSEC for short. The report's own authors basically warn us right up front. Don't be fooled by the big picture numbers. They literally use the words stark and stunning to describe what's really going on beneath the surface of the official stats. Okay, so to really get how a crisis this massive can stay hidden in plain sight, we have to look at an official number that honestly makes everything look pretty okay. On paper, the state's official pupil-teacher ratio is 21 students for every one teacher. I mean, by any standard, that sounds great, right? It suggests small classes, lots of one-on-one attention, but it's a dangerous illusion. And here is where that nice, neat 21-to-1 average just completely falls apart. That one number is hiding the fact that there are 157 schools with no teachers, and another 1,615 schools where one single teacher is somehow expected to teach every kid from 1st to 5th grade. Oh, and on top of all that, there are 206 ghost schools that are on the books but have 0 students. The teacher crisis, as shocking as it is really just the headline. It's the first domino to fall in a much, much larger systemic collapse. The problem goes way deeper. You see, it isn't just about the quality of education in the classroom. It's about whether kids can even get to a classroom. The report found hundreds of villages don't have a secondary school anywhere nearby. For higher secondary, that number explodes to almost 2,000. And remember, in the hilly terrain of Meghalaya, 5 or 7 kilometers isn't just a long walk. For a child, it's often an impossible barrier. And the direct result of this? It's right here, 22%. That's nearly 1 out of every 5 students who actually makes it to secondary school ends up dropping out before they finish. So what about the teachers who are actually in the system, working every day? Well, the picture for them is just as bleak. Over a 5-year span, more than 80% of elementary teachers got 0 in-service training. No skill refreshers, no curriculum updates, nothing. And here's the real kicker. You can't train teachers if the places designed to train them are themselves broken. Almost a third of the faculty jobs at the District Institutes of Education and Training, the very institutions that are supposed to support teachers, are empty. So the government knows all of this. It's their report after all. And they officially approved it. Which brings us to what is, frankly, the most baffling part of this whole situation. The huge gap between seeing the problem and actually doing anything about it. Just look at this timeline. The report gets finished and approved in October 2025. The media reports that the real work begins. And then, crickets. By the end of January 2026, months have gone by with no public action plan, no progress report, nothing. I mean, the contrast couldn't be more stark. On the one hand, you have the promise of reform. On the other, the reality 3 months down the line is just no visible action on the biggest emergencies. No new teachers sent to the teacherless schools, no plan for the ghost schools, and no new hires for the training centers. This total lack of action just leaves you with a bunch of really urgent, unanswered questions. And these aren't just for the government, they're for all of us. They're about what accountability even looks like when a system fails this badly. I mean, how is it even possible for 157 schools to run without a single teacher? Was it for a week, a month, a whole school year? And why on earth wasn't this treated like the 5-alarm fire that it so clearly is? And for those 1,600 schools with just one teacher, are we really asking one person to teach 5 different grade levels with different subjects all at the same time? And maybe more importantly, Have they even been given the super specialized training needed to even try to do that impossible job? And finally, why are resources, buildings, funding, maybe even salaries being poured into 206 schools that don't have any students? That's money that could be going to schools that are desperately trying to function.
And this really gets to the heart of it all, doesn't it? A press release isn't progress. Approving a report isn't a solution. Real reform means putting a qualified teacher in a classroom. It's really that simple and that urgent.
So we end with this final, powerful challenge. This isn't just some administrative headache or a budget problem. Every single day that a child walks into a classroom and finds no teacher, that is a day of their future that is being stolen from them. It's a loss they can never get back. And the only question left to ask is, when will the theft stop?